fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with William Hill, Empire Fight Store. We've been joined by Shane Watson. Shane, you've made a bit of the news reacting to some people's criticism of Joe Joyce recently. But look, first off, I want to talk about why you're here. You're in Sheffield. It's Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington, but one of your charges is on the card in Junaid Bostan, one of the young prospects in this country. What do you make of Junaid? With a big card for him to showcase his skills?
Yeah, it's got like hula hoop stuff in my mouth, I would say. But yeah, really big bill. I'm so excited for the main event as well. It'd be good to see what Celia Breakhouse got left as well. First lady of boxing. It's a really good card. Matchroom has done a great job putting on the show. It's a big show. I think boxing needed one of these shows, or a lot of like smaller ones lately. This is a really good one.
Proper old school, isn't it?
Yeah. Going to be a few tear-ups, to say the least. So I'm really looking forward to Conway Adofia as well, if I can get out in time to watch it, because I know Hope Price on in between. So no, I should be able to watch it. Yeah. That'd be nice to watch.
Well, let's just get your opinion on the main event. Josh Warrington, Leigh Wood. Josh has got his back against the wall for this one. He's coming into this with people writing him off saying best days are behind you. He's an opportunity to become a 3-time world champion. Leigh Wood defending the belts, coming into this on a good run of form. What do you make of it from the outside looking in?
I think it's a great opportunity for Warrington. He's got no pressure on his side because no one's expecting him to do it anyway. People forget that he's an ex-world champion himself.
2-time.
Yeah, he's fought at the highest level. He's got some great wins. He had a very close fight with Lopez, and we've seen what Lopez has gone on to do since. Listen, don't write him off. At the end of the day, it's a great fight. I personally think Leigh Wood will win. I don't think he'll stop him. I think he'll be on points, but yeah, you can't write Josh Warrington off, man. He can come out a bit like he did against Frampton and get to Leigh Wood early, and then get Leigh Wood to fight his fight. Listen, he's got a chance, ain't he? So.
Well, look, I've got to ask you about Tony Bellew's comments and criticism of Joe Joyce. Feels a bit harsh when I was reading them, but can I just get your take on the comments made about Joe, obviously after suffering a heartbreaking defeat to Zhilei Zhang?
Depends what comments they are. I mean, some comments from people are just that
about British level and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off there's some people who are like how Josh destroys him and that's a bad fight and Joe should retire. I don't mind when people say things like that because that's an opinion. And I mean, we come off of 2 bad defeats. Okay, that's fine. Some people just backing their guy as well. There's no problem with that. I back Joe all the way still, so there's no issue with that whatsoever. But obviously, I think the Wardley comments, they're not made by Wardley. The comments are made about Wardley and Joe Joyce about the British title. I just find it incredibly disrespectful, really. I think the respect should be there for a guy who should have been an Olympic gold medalist, the most decorated amateur of all time, a guy that's knocked out Joseph Parker, a guy who's knocked out Daniel Dubois, a guy that's knocked out Carlos Hakam, and yet he's getting comments made like that. Like, Joe was fighting at the level that Fabio fought at in his even on his debut, Ian Lewison. Like, he hasn't essentially fought anyone that's better than Ian Lewison yet, really. Similar level, yeah, but like not essentially better.
What comments have riled you up the most that you've seen? Because I've seen it on Twitter, and Twitter I think is a bit of a breeding ground for idiots at times when you see certain trolls. But these are some people that are coming from within boxing. What's annoyed you the most with the comment you've seen?
I think it's obviously quite obvious. I think comments were made by Tony about Joe's chin and how he wouldn't win a British title now against Wardley and whatnot. I just find it disrespectful. Look, I'm not going to by any means come here and slag Tony Bellew off, because number 1, I have no right to do that. Number 2, he's a bit scary. And number 3, essentially, I mean, that is his opinion, and it does make me a little bit of a hypocrite, because then I just said about people having their opinion. But I don't see how he can genuinely believe that, because there is nothing to go off to suggest that. When a guy's only fought at British level, and he's not gone to European level, he's not gone up through the levels yet, or through the gears, what are you going off to say that? It can't. There's no like almost evidence or education behind that comment, you know. So that's what I just think is purely disrespectful. Because you know what, a guy that dared to be great and really given him a go and really tried to make something happen. And one of the only heavyweights that's actually fighting people, yeah, elite level guys, and you want to discredit him like that. You know, he should be reaching out and trying to give Joe some advice and whatnot. Tony's come back from defeats before. He's been knocked out badly before. So he should be reaching out some advice and maybe an arm and saying, "Alright, listen, big man, like you can come back. Don't let the naysayers get you down," and things like that. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to make it a big thing. I was angry last week, but now I'm just
boxing.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna make it something it's not, because number one, I don't think Joe would really like that. And number two, well, I said Tony's quite a scary man. So.
Well, let me ask you, in terms of Joe Joyce, obviously the dust settled now. I know it's still very raw, but you had a chat about, look, have a bit of time off, have time away, enjoy yourself. Let's come back and assess what we're going to do, because, like you said, he's lost to a very good operator. I think we're forgetting that in all of this, that Zhilei Zhang, you know, he's a very tricky customer for every heavyweight in the division. You had a chat with Joe about what's next or what he wants to do next?
Yeah, well, I've spoken to Joe almost every day since the fight. A lot of it we're just like having banter and sending each other memes and things like that. But like, I don't want him to think and talk about boxing right now. I want him to have his holiday, switch off. Because whatever he says about boxing, it's going to be made purely off of pride and an emotional decision for whatever he wants to do. Now, I know obviously he's going to come back and he's still going to operate at the top level. What I'm saying is there's no point talking about that right now. Let him literally switch off, do what he does, see his friends, see his family, don't even think about boxing, and then we'll have discussions about everything, what we're doing moving forward.
Well, look, Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk signed as well. That news came out. They've said that potentially December 23rd. I don't know if they're doing that just to play with Matchroom, because they said they might do Eubank Ben, or towards the end of the Riyadh season, February, March time next year. What do you make of that? It's a positive bit of news, because everyone was saying that fight won't happen. A lot of people saying Fury didn't want that fight, but it's signed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great fight. I'm so happy. The sport needs it. It's brilliant. 2 days before Christmas as well, so a nice little Christmas present for everyone. I hope it does actually go ahead. And massive kudos to Queensbury, George Warren. What a year they've had. They've been putting on some big fights and great shows. A lot of people thought it would never happen, so hopefully it actually does. I think it will. And what a great spectacle for the fans, you know, and great for Usyk and Fury as well, because they'll be earning the money they deserve. And mate, I'm excited for it, and I don't think that they're going to be dwelling too much on there being a show on the same night. Every single person born from their mother is going to watch that fight.
That's a little line taken from Tyson himself, I think. That.
Yeah. No, but everyone's going to watch it. Even if you've never watched boxing before, you're going to watch.
Right, let me ask you. Someone I wanted to bring up earlier in the interview, but skipped my mind. Florian Marku, after his devastating knockout, you'll be wanting to get him back out. Is he going to be out before the end of the year? He's flying now. He's not got this injury. He wants to fight. What sort of opponent are we looking for him next?
Mate, the biggest and best available that we can get. Simply, like, we're not messing around. We don't want to have someone low level. We want to fight at a top level. Like, we're talking about ex-world champions. We're talking about pay-per-view stars, like big names. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's what we're trying to do. Whether he fights at the end of this year remains to be seen. It kind of depends on who he's fighting, who's available, and what dates are available as well. But I mean, he could and should do, but depends on what fights that we can get and what's available. It depends with obviously Sky's schedule as well. But yeah, for me, in my opinion, and in the team's opinion, also in Florian's opinion, it's got to be the biggest and best fight possible now.
Spoke to Stephen McKenna after his win at York Hall last week. He's moved on now. He called out, I think, Josh Taylor. He said he was sick of calling out Florian Marku. If you can't get maybe, I don't know, a huge name, Stevie still says he won't, obviously he'd take that fight. Would you consider that?
Mate, Florian Marku and McKenna makes actual 0 sense. I know. I don't even mean this rude or disrespectful, because I respect McKenna, obviously, because I'm someone from the outside who admires what every boxer does, from journeyman right up to elite level. But I don't actually know if Florian knows who he is, or I'm not actually winding you up. But I remember there was one time he sent me a video, he's like, who is this guy? And I was like, oh, he's a good fighter actually. His brother's a good fighter as well, but like when you say he brings nothing to the table, he brings virtually zero to the table right now. But maybe one day if he can build his name and like become something big in the sport, then maybe one day. But no, we're miles away. Like I said, we're talking about ex-world champions, pay-per-view stars. I'd be like, again, without being disrespectful to McKenna, he's done nothing to warrant that fight so far. He's had quite a lot of fights considering he only just stepped up. I'm not overly impressed. I mean, I think he's a good fighter, but yeah, no, he's crazy. He called out Josh Taylor, didn't he, as well?
Say again?
Did you not call out Josh Taylor as well?
Yeah, Josh Taylor straight after the fight.
Wild. But yeah. But no.
He's got to try it, hasn't he? I mean, that's what people do in the big names.
Lie and say that that's on my mind at all. Florian deserves big money and big opportunities. We'd be giving that opportunity to someone else the other way if we were doing that. It's just like, it's not even been brought up. I don't even think boxing want that fight. They've never once mentioned it to us, so I don't believe they want that fight. I just think McKenna trying to get his name out there a little bit, which fair play to him. If I was McKenna's team, I'd be doing the same thing.
Fair enough. Well, look, Shane Watson, I appreciate your time. We'll catch up after fight night, and good luck for you and obviously Junaid this weekend.
Thank you, mate. Top man. Thank you.